Hi, and welcome to another episode of At Least I Don't Have Gonorrhea.
Oh, in 5D.
5D.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, changed my view.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't sell this one back to me.
Well, it's funny. I was just having a conversation about how much less of an edge lord I am than when we first started this podcast several years ago.
Yeah.
And I decided to do a bit of a throwback kind of opening.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we try to be clever.
We fail a lot.
I mean, we try.
Yeah. But we fail a lot.
All right. So, opening aside, I don't have gonorrhea. Just putting that out there. It's not a thing I have.
Well, I mean, he keeps a small sample of it in a safe in his house just in case, but
Yeah. I call it the in case she ever calls back.
yeah. It's good. It's good planning.
You got to be prepared for anything, including a little chemical warfare. Are we on a
Right.
list now? Is
We
that
might be on a
was
list.
that the line?
Actually, did you ever hear about this? Was at least to my knowledge. I don't know if it ended up being a fake site, but to my knowledge, did you ever hear about crabrevenge.com?
I did hear about it, but then again, there was also that what was it the animal poop shipping too?
I don't know the animal poop one.
Yeah,
I know
basically.
there's a bag of dicks one.
No. There's literally a place you can't anymore, but what you could is go and pay to send like elephant poop or exotic animal poop to a person you dislike, and they just ship them like
That's
a
amazing.
pile
Why did that get made illegal?
probably diseases and bacteria. I'm willing to say.
Oh. Well, did you ever hear about there was the Cards Against Humanity one. It was called a box of bullshit, and they sold it, and then people bought it, and then they were like, "Why did you send me a box of shit?" And they were like, "Because we said it was a box of shit." And people were like, "No, you're like Cards Against Humanity. We thought it was a joke, and there'd be like some hidden cards or like whatever." And they're like, "Nope, nope, it was a box of shit. That's why it said it's a box of shit."
Cards Against Humanity has done that a couple times.
They're great. They're great.
Do you remember when they were selling pieces of an island?
No.
So they bought like a one of those tiny like river islands near I think the Hudson River or New York, like East Coast.
Sure.
And then they started selling card-sized parcels of it. They broke it up, and they actually, if you were part of, before they sold out, you actually got a deed, like a property deed. You were a landowner, and you owned this little like thing. You could go and put like a flag or something there if you really, really wanted to.
I would have a very tiny structure built.
Yeah. What is it? A school for ants?
Yeah, I would make the school for ants.
But anyways, yeah, Cards Against Humanity is great. They've done things like that. Although to be fair, I feel like there was a time and a place for them, and that time is past.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cards Against Humanity-esque things out there nowadays.
That and I feel like some of the joke cards just probably wouldn't be taken as great nowadays.
Well, but you know my favorite card.
Yes, it's probably all of ours on this podcast favorite card.
Bees?
Bees?
It's the best card. I will answer, and the worst part is if a very particular subset of our friends plays that game and plays the bees card, it will get a laugh 100% of times it's used, but then we all try and do it outside of this group, and it does not work at all.
It never works, but we keep doing it because it's still funny. It's
To
great
us.
yeah, it's great. People are like, "What?" Or like, "Nothing." It's
Had to
funny.
be there.
Yeah. That was I will say that out of all the games of Cards Against Humanity, that was probably the one that I got in trouble in. It was the only one.
It was. I don't want to get into it.
No,
It wasn't even what it should have been.
I know. It was just, oh man, good times. All right, so I have had a kind of a depressing last couple days because I finished a really good game, and To be fair, though, this is one of those first world depression things where it's not real at all. With everything else going on right now, that's the least of our worries. But I am sad that I finished Control. It was a fantastic game. I did all the DLC. The sad part is it was so well done. I did a bunch of the DLC without even noticing. Like, it just felt like continuations.
That's kind of dope.
Of the game, which you could be taken one of two ways. Like, oh, they just chopped up the game and then sold it to you. Sure, but it actually added things. Like, both the DLCs ended up adding a power.
Oh.
Like a new power that you could do, and more ways to go ahead and get more ability points to spend on your main power grid. That's one of the games, and I love it when games do this, where you can get every power up.
Oh, nice.
I don't like that limited, then you have to respec bullshit. I'm just not into that.
Right.
But the reason I had asked prior to the podcast here is if you had played Alan Wake, is one of the DLCs directly references Alan Wake. Like, he shows up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because remember, Remedy, that studio,
same company.
Same company. So it's the same developer that did Alan Wake. Actually, they also did Max Payne 1 and 2.
Max Payne 4 just got announced.
Yeah, but I don't think Remedy did anything after Max Payne 2. Once it wasn't worth it anymore, I don't think when they were doing it anymore.
It's fair.
So they did the Max Payne, and I actually, as soon as I finished Control, I was jonesing for something, and I had never finished Quantum Break. So,
which I have and have not at all played yet.
I just started the first chapter. It's pulling me back in because I decided to start all over. It's been too long. I didn't want to start from where it was. Apparently, I'd gone as far as Act 2, and I didn't realize, but there's the narrative and the timeline changes depending on certain choices that you make.
Oh.
So if you find certain items or take certain actions within the game, they have different cutscenes, and it changes the episodes and your timeline and the outcome at the end. So you could technically do separate variations. I don't know how involved they are. I just know that that's a mechanic. What's fascinating is, oh God, I'm blanking. I've actually seen him in public. The actor that.
Oh, the main dude. Yeah, he was Quinn even.
Yeah, he was Iceman in one of the X-Men movies.
If it was that one, but him and his twin, they were in like Warehouse 13, the Iceman in the X-Men movies. He's actually done a lot of sci-fi stuff.
He does. He has. I remember I put a post on Twitter a couple of years back where I ran into him at an airport.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But so. They did full filmed like mocap stuff, so they just filmed a bunch of different variations, and apparently the cutscenes actually changed in this one depending on
that's pretty cool.
Some of the decisions. We'll see how involved it is, but that's kind of been a little bit of my time sink there. And then you know what? After having a conversation with Bonsai today, I decided I went back and I finally finished Borderlands DLC, the Bounty of Blood, and I know you've played this one, so yep. I want to hear your take on this first, because you've also played all of them now.
Yes, I've played all of them. Well, it's a little unfair, and you're a bastard, because I did another one more recently than I did Bounty of Blood, but
we'll get there.
I guess that honestly, though, based on what I had to ask you about Bounty of Blood, I will say it's probably the least memorable of the four. I really liked the heist on Jack's place. That was really fun, and it had a couple of really cool mechanics in it. And then I loved the guns and tentacles. Just, you know, it was a little more my aesthetic, like Lovecraftian, tentacly horror shit. This one, yeah, it felt like a almost old, yellery Western revenge with raptors kind of thing. It was cool. It wasn't bad by any means, but it was definitely the least memorable for me. Okay.
I mean, I tend to agree. I actually, if I could rank them, I'd probably go Love, Guns, and Tentacles would be my favorite DLC of this Borderlands. And then after that, it would be The Heist and then Bounty of Blood. I haven't played the next one yet, but I'm gonna start it soon. However, for Bounty of Blood, I honestly thought the story was the weakest part because all the other DLCs had a pretty good storyline, even if it varied a little bit from the main storyline, except for Heist, which involved some of the characters that you're used to.
Yeah.
Love and Tentacles, while it had those characters, they weren't really driving the plot per se. I had a blast, not just because of the aesthetic, but it looks like they really went out of their way to make like the not the butler, the lodge innkeeper severely creepy.
Yeah.
In what he said, how he said it, the voice acting was on fucking point.
Yeah, it was.
But with Bounty of Blood, I just felt like, yeah, they gave people some Western sounding accents, and that's kind of it. Like,
yeah,
like the story is sheriff's missing, you got to kill some outlaws. Okay, I understand you're doing the trope, but then turning it on his ear. At least like the Heist was about, Jack's hand. And this character that goes through a progression of sorts and that kind of thing. This just felt like you got a little bit of a story from the person that ends up being the sheriff later on, but it's
I'm remembering more and more of it as you talk about it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like story-wise
it felt like a Tarantino movie. It was kind of just a lineup of Western tropes.
Yeah, and it was flashy, but not. There was no substance to it. And I will say my biggest frustration is it seems like they really ramped up the difficulty, but they didn't drop weapons to keep up. So I felt like there was a level disparity. And I've already hit top level, and I've got a bunch of the additional points and all that. And it wasn't impossible. It was just sloggy.
So Fuster Cluck is... I mean, are you even playing it on Mayhem mode or no?
Mayhem 3.
Okay, I'm only on Mayhem 2, but Fuster Cluck was really hard. Like, I was, if I didn't have my pet with me, I would have been screwed. Though my build is based around my pet pretty heavily, so I add that in as a factor. But yeah, it was pretty rough going at a few parts.
So I've changed the graphics, so hit me with it, baby.
Let's get like my biggest negative out of the way first, so I can actually sound positive about something and talk more about positives. I hate the new I don't even know what to call it, like the mini side quest map things. Like you had to do like all the Typhon de Leon background history. Yeah, there you go. The collectible in this one sucks. You have to hit these things. You have to go up to each pillar, hit it, and then it shoots out all of these little rainbow things, and you got to go one by one and shoot them before the time runs out. And the first few are kind of like, okay, that's like a small target, and you're kind of a dick about how, if you're like me and you use primarily shotguns and stuff, it's like, okay, let me grab some gun I'm not used to using and go use that to shoot at things. And then after a while, it drops you into ones where you got to like hop between stones on a time limit to get to the angle to where you can shoot at the thing. And at one point, I died twice and lost $1 million each time and was like, nope, we're not doing these. I'm not doing them. I started just walking away. I think I only did like 3. I don't even know how many there are. There's more than 3. And I'm not doing them. So those are awful. Other than that, I actually really like the story. I think they did something really different and unique with the side quests in this one, because you're going into Craig's mind and there's not a whole lot of other people in his mind. You're mostly doing side quests for like his 2 aspects, and the side quests aren't all just a bunch of fetch quests. Most of the time you just stand there and interact with them, and then that just checks it off your list. Like, you very rarely have to like kill something or go somewhere. It's a lot of just sitting around and talking to Craig.
So it's more narrative driven then.
Very. And you learn a lot about Craig. I think it's Craig.
Yeah, pretty sure it's Craig.
But you learn a lot about him. The 2 sides of his personality are super fun. There's one boss battle I was pretty pissed at, and I literally only made it through it because of my pet. Should I spoil it or no?
I mean,
you can say no.
Don't spoil what it is, but you can talk about mechanics.
No, it's more that it is what it... No, I can't.
Okay.
The bosses are pretty specific things in this.
Oh, okay.
But it's also part of the narrative too, which is kind of cool. Now, this one just felt really well crafted, and I love the aesthetic. Everything you kill explodes into like rainbows all over the ground. One of the new enemy types they bring in, it's psychos who ride in from the sky, riding on rockets.
Yeah.
So they just try and crash into you in mass. You got to like pop up to the sky and knock them out really quick, which is pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's only 10 gig, which is kind of nice. Borderlands takes up more room on my PS4 than any other game because of all the DLCs I have
Dude,
for it.
most of the games I play nowadays take up more room than my operating system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's the Loco Mobius was my new favorite anything ever though. You literally have to fight a train in this game. It's an evil train.
Okay.
The train fight is pretty fun. I did enjoy Loco Mobius.
Okay, fair enough.
And I can spoil that one's name because
What was that? Was that the poop train that you fought?
They missed an opportunity to make it the poop train. No, it is not.
That would have been fantastic.
It would have. You are absolutely correct. It gives a little bit more of like Maya too, because remember that's the one that Krieg was
Yeah.
in love with was Maya.
Yeah.
So they add in some like
Which I'm also
existence
pissed
of
off
Maya
about
instead.
how that happened.
Like pissed off, really?
I just think it was dumb. I think it was boring.
Yeah, but I mean, in a big battle like that, some folks are gonna die dumb boring. Sometimes motherfuckers just catch a stray bullet.
Yeah, but that's I mean, my issue was you go through a big and that's Borderlands 3, so spoiler, right? You do the fight, and you just so happen to step into the other room, and then when you come back, you can't do anything about it, and it just happens. Like narratively, it was just really boring.
Well, and they've gone on record saying that like a bunch of things that happen in the game don't happen in the game, like the respawn things. Like, no, those aren't canon. Really? Because you seem to like put narrative into it that implies that it is canon at parts. So yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, but so anyways, I just didn't like how they did it. I understand why you would wanna. At this point, you know you've got 2 games with 4 characters each, and if you're trying to try new things with new classes and stuff, you kind of have to get rid of the old characters.
Well, yeah, and you can't have a roster that constantly expands, or you wind up with like Kingdom Hearts and shit.
Yeah, especially with a game like this where there's a lot of very specific like skill trees and at this point very varied what do you call it, powers and abilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand why they would want to do that, but her replacement is stupid. Absolutely hot garbage.
I actually don't see her being playable in the next one, to be honest.
No, probably not playable, but it's still going to be her replacement.
Well, that or they start telling very different Borderlands stories after this.
You think they're done with the main crew?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that this was my least favorite story-wise as well. Like the bosses were whack.
Yeah. Borderlands 2 is the best Borderlands. Hands
Yeah.
down, no question. Borderlands 2 is the best one. And that'll probably be that way for a long time.
Even the DLCs were really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah,
I-
top down, that's a solid game.
So I actually just uninstalled it because since I'm in a temp space, I don't have my NAS that has all the extra storage. So all of the podcast episodes are taking up a bunch of room too. Soon.
You ruin everything.
So what have you been getting into?
Oh man. You know, I've been starting a bunch of stuff, but I haven't finished anything. I'm doing Infinity Train Season 3. I'm still really enjoying Infinity Train.
Right, yeah.
And Season 3 is really good. It's sort of the shake up for Season 3. In the first 2, you have kids who are like doing what you're supposed to do on the train, right? Working through your shit. Season 3, the main characters are actually like they believe that what people are being told they need to do on the train is a lie, and they actively work against what the goal of the train is supposed to be. So I'm just kind of curious to see where we end up. And like, episodes are really short and there's not really heavy season counts. I think it's only like 8 to 10 episodes and they're 11 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm padding it out. We're watching it at lunch. So, we have like barely enough time to like cook, eat, and go for a walk. So that's my lunchtime show right now. But we're making through. It's pretty good so far this season. I like this season. But the first season so far is still the best one. Infinity Train season 1's the jammy jam.
That's usually how it happens with shows, right? Like it's new, it's really really fun, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, we would love more, and they go, okay, here's more.
Well,
but
and it was
the same.
This was planned. No, the problem is that it's not more the same, because it was only supposed to be one season. Infinity Train wasn't. The guy never intended it to be more than one season. So everything else he's doing is like, oh, okay. I guess on top of that, or aside from that, then it has been an anthology. It's a different main character each season.
Yeah.
Though some of like the background characters and events cross over. Things that happen in the first one matter in the second one, kind of thing.
That makes sense. It's hard,
No, it is, but it is still
original
a good
content.
Show. It is still a really good show. Definitely. I think it's an HBO Max exclusive.
It sounds like I didn't care about HBO Max, but it sounds like they're bringing a bunch of stuff now.
They're starting to put in reasons to give a shit about it. We've been like, ready for the internet to judge me en masse.
Judge.
So we just finished watching all of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
A lot of people really hate that show on the internet. They're like, oh, don't you see they're making fun of you? It's terrible if you remove the laugh track. I'm like, yeah, because you pause for a laugh track. Any sitcom with a laugh track, if you remove it, does the same thing. But I don't know. I like the show. I think it's harmless, and they make a lot of like really deep cuts in jokes that proves the people writing it are probably just as nerdy as the people they expect to be consuming it. So,
yeah, I will say though, like it's not bad that they're laughing at us. Like that's just how it happens. We laugh at ourselves.
Right. If you can't joke about yourself, how serious are you about it?
Yeah, right. Like when you're talking about like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or any of the really good sitcoms, they are caricatures of real life scenarios, right? Where maybe they take a different twist and there's the entertainment value, but the truth is, it's fine. It's just okay. So it's a little bit insulting in certain ways, like, oh, nerds, but to be fair, look at like Revenge of the Nerds did the same thing. Look at almost anything else. It's a stereotype. They're making fun of a stereotype. It's fine.
Yeah, no, and the show works. Though I will say, having ended Big Bang Theory, watching it in a straight run, if we're comparing like sitcom to sitcom, and with how popular the shows got, How I Met Your Mother is so much better than Big Bang Theory by a lot.
I always thought that anyways.
I Met Your Mother had so much more impact episode to episode. Big Bang Theory played it real safe the whole time.
Well,
it was real safe.
What I liked about How I Met Your Mother is that it was clever and new. Although you still had very similar tropes, they took them in different ways. While Big Bang Theory just kind of did the Beauty and the Beast thing kind of deal, right? Like, geeky guy, hot girl, and
yeah. But the end was an okay payoff. It was good. I don't know. Big Bang's worth a watch. If you're into that sort of thing, if you like sitcom-y kind of stuff, Big Bang's worth a watch.
Did you ever watch the prequel show?
No, I refuse.
Okay. I was just wondering. I've never seen it. I wasn't into Big Bang Theory that much anyway, so.
Yeah, no, there's no point in that. That just seems... It's like a hat on a hat. You didn't need to do that. We were good.
I didn't understand the appeal. Like, I guess people really like Sheldon, but I honestly thought he was kind of the weakest part of that show.
Yeah, honestly. He becomes literal plot fuel after a while. He's just there to muck things up.
Yeah. I just... At least Leonard felt like... And again, I haven't seen it all, but I have the general synopsis, but at least Leonard felt like he had an arc.
And after a while, the show really becomes an ensemble, which any good sitcom should do. So, no, it's good. It's worth a watch. It's fun, but How I Met Your Mother's better. you're gonna be trapped on an island with one. Make it How I Met Your Mother.
Even with those last like 3 episodes or whatever.
Yep.
Fair enough.
The last few episodes made you feel something.
Yeah, mostly frustration at how they ended it.
Feeling something, bro.
That's true. That's true. Did you hear the drama happening in the podcast universe with the Rogan podcast?
I've heard he started saying some pretty unfavorable things.
So it's interesting because he made a comment. I'm not going to repeat it, but it was a comment that was unsubstantiated about the Oregon fires.
Yeah, which I'll go ahead and I live here, and that thing he said, that's not true.
And to be fair, this is the first time he's actually put out a retraction, and he did.
Oh,
he came out. He was like, "Look, I was duped. I was misinformed. I had read some shit, and I was wrong. I apologize."
Hey, good on him. That's all you can do in that situation.
So, and it's more than that. There's controversy now because there's a bunch of his episodes that when he moved to Spotify, they didn't make the cut, and it's all those like, it seems like it's a lot of controversial people, and then a few maybe not. And he was always said that he was going to keep it open platform, that the Spotify was just a licensing deal. They're licensing the platform. He owns all the content, and they can't tell him what to do. But apparently there's a giant revolt within Spotify themselves. There's a group of staff who are basically like, no, he's all these bunch of isms, and we refuse to we want Spotify to take down episodes that we deem to be harmful,
unsavory,
that don't need a platform, right? So and so that's part of the controversy. The funniest part is that let's take it to Reddit. So now Reddit, under the Joe Rogan subreddit, which is funny. Have you ever been there?
No.
So that subreddit, because their posts show up on the front page all the time, but subreddit, there's no middle ground. They either love Rogan or fucking hate him. So whenever anything shows up, it's just like they battle it all out. Jesus, that was easy for me to say. And the one that made it to the front page today was that half of the people in there going, haha, take that, Joe Rogan, you sell out. And then the other half were like, no, he said he wasn't selling out. He's totally going to go, his lawyers are going to go after Spotify and shit. So that's the drama. I take it you missed most of it.
Yeah, I tend to just not even engage with stuff like that because I don't. I consume what I consume, and that's, you do what you want to do for your reasons, and I'm going to do what I want to do. It was the same thing with like Nostalgia Critic when all that stuff came out.
Oh,
I kind of looked. I looked into it enough to go like, look, did Doug Walker specifically like sexually assault people? No. There was people within his production company who had these behavior, and I'm like, okay, gross. Hopefully somebody took action, but at the end of the day, like, I don't watch it because I love him and I want to give him money and do all this stuff. Occasionally he'll put up an episode from like a movie that I like or really hate, and so I'll watch it to see somebody's opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not just like out the door. Rogan, I don't really follow closely or anything, but I've seen some stuff he's posted, and some of it I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. And he's had a few things I'm like, I don't agree with that. But he's just like a person entitled to his opinion. I don't know what the episodes in particular people want cut are. And I don't know, if he's like out there promoting like, go outside and murder people, yeah, let's pull that down. Other than that, I mean, that's just a guy saying his opinion. Nobody, like, for years, Howard Stern said all kinds of stuff people didn't agree with. And that's fine too.
And to be fair, I think the argument is mostly around people giving him a platform. But the reason that I brought not giving him a platform, sorry, the people he gives a platform on his podcast because it's so big. But the reason I brought this up is because as podcasters, this is very relevant, right? You have someone that big corporations like Spotify are starting to realize that, hey, man, these people are a big draw and they make, they could make a lot of money. But do you feel they're going to do the same thing they did with the music industry, where in the end the artists are going to not get shit, or you think that artists have learned their lesson?
I think the internet is music didn't start on the internet, music expanded into the internet. And now what you're seeing in music is a lot of people going off and just self-producing, self-publishing, crowdfunding, and all this other stuff to get music out there. These shows, podcasts, this started on the internet. People know they can go do it without the backing of a corporation. So, no, I don't see it getting pigeonholed into there. It started not in there.
Yeah, because like, well, but there's that, and I guess the main platforms are the ones that are taking the hits. You know, when you're posting stuff up on well, Spotify or any of those other the actual publishing platforms, then they get to decide whether you go on there or not because it's their platform.
Right.
So it's just interesting to look at where it's going. Although, from what I remember, they offered him $100 million for publishing rights for for licensing rights for 3 years.
Yeah, you can go ahead and call me a sellout or whatever the fuck you want, but for $100 million, yep, whatever you want, Chief. We're good.
Today, you're going to be doing only reviews of my Barbie's My Little Playhouse.
Done. Sold. $100 million. We'll do it all day. Today, you're going to be eating refried bean flavored ice cream. $100 million. Let's go. Stack it up.
To be fair, though, if you listen to our old episodes, we've said this before. We ain't got no shame.
None.
All right. Speaking of no shame, the acquisition.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about this. This is a spicy topic, mostly because I don't know if this is good or bad. I'm split.
Well, and I mean, it's only good or bad depending on how you feel about Bethesda, but knowing how Microsoft usually does business, they've got like 2 games. And if those 2 games don't perform like Microsoft wants them to, they're just going to scuttle Bethesda. So, pressure's on, boys.
My favorite part was when Microsoft didn't buy Bethesda. They bought Bethesda parent company. Like, what?
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that too. That was a very aggressive move. To not just like, hey, we just want like the games and like your staff. They're like, no, all of it, of it,
give me
all of it.
And it's a lot of money. It's not like with 7 billion.
7 bills.
Damn, I can't even fathom that much money, man.
Yeah.
So how
but honestly, for me personally, I realize there's a lot of people who are into this. For me, it's a bunch of IPs that I think they ruined. And like one thing I'm kind of sad to see move, but they'll probably do just fine with.
Well, we don't know what Starfield's going to be. It's supposed to be awesome, but they've talked about it so much and said nothing.
Do you have to fly a spaceship? Guess who's out?
That's true. Except for the Kingdom Hearts, when you build your own spaceship and then fly it, you're genuinely.
I hated it in 3. 3's terrible because you actually do have to travel around a galaxy. It's fine in the other ones because they're basically just like Raiden or oh, you know what I'm talking, like 1942.
Yeah.
Radius.
I actually, on my Switch, have a game called, I think it's called Iron Skies, it's basically an updated Raiden. It's great. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those games.
Yeah. It all started with the love of Galaga. Not really. I was too young for Galaga.
Now, if Starfield is a big fancy version of Raiden or Gradius, I'm in.
Okay, well, what about more a narratively driven sci-fi opera kind of deal? Because that's kind of their thing.
No.
It'd probably be Mass Effect style where you don't actually have to fly your ship.
Here's my problem with Bethesda doing another big narrative game. It's just Elder Scrolls and Fallout. They've already released that game with 2 different flavor packs strapped to the top of it. That engine has not had any major modifications. Minor. It's had like graphic updates and some engine stuff, but those are the same games. It blows my mind that people don't see that. But they are. They are the same game. They're the same game.
Yeah, I never really finished Fallout 4 because I spent so much time. It just wasn't worth it anymore. I was like, the story isn't even interesting anymore.
Fallout 3 was really good, but it was still just Elder Scrolls with a different skin pack on it.
Hmm. I mean, you mean Elder Scrolls, or you mean like Skyrim?
Those are the same thing.
Well, no,
Skyrim
no.
is Elder Scrolls 8 or 7 or 6 or whatever the fuck
Pretty
number
sure
it
it's
is.
5.
Okay, who cares? It's a
No,
bad
I was
series.
wondering, are you saying that it's like all of the Elder Scrolls games, or it's specifically like Skyrim?
I think it's like it's either Morrowind Plus or Oblivion Plus, but everything above that, it's all the same engine.
Hmm. Did
They're
you,
the same
and you
game.
didn't play The Evil Within. I played the first Prey, and I thought that was fantastic.
The first Prey was good, but was that them or did they buy the Prey IP?
I have no idea. Did you play the new one?
No.
We're useless at this.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't play the Evil Within. I played the shit out of Doom though. Love Doom. Haven't done Doom Eternal yet. Doom I think is the only good thing Bethesda's going for them, but the problem is I can already see Doom getting away from Doom. I didn't like that they added in like upgrades and stuff like that.
Okay.
Doom was never really about upgrades. Like it didn't need RPG elements, but they got everything else about it right. I haven't played Eternal yet. I'm hoping Eternal is just a little bit more, but
Like, I don't want to come off like a dick, but I'm waiting for Eternal to come on a sale or a Humble Bundle.
oh yeah, well, I'm hoping they kind of release a special edition for the Series X, where I'll just get both of them in the same pack. That's what I want.
Maybe. But speaking of the Series X, are you ready?
For tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm glad these episodes post late, so those sons of bitches listening won't be able to take my pre-orders like happened with the PlayStation.
Yeah, I really don't see this one having the same. I mean, I guess we'll find out if we're going to be eating crow next week, but here's my
Sure.
prediction. I don't think it's going to sell out as bad as the PlayStation 5 did. And that's not me like trashing on it or anything. Like I'm still getting one. I just think A, they have an easier, better supply chain for it. B, I think they don't have any big flagship games coming out that people are doing backflips for to get their hands on. C, I do think there is slightly less interest in it. I've personally heard less buzz, but maybe I just travel in a heavier PlayStation
And
circle.
why do you think that?
What do I think? What?
That
That people are less excited?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing exclusive for it that
Okay.
matters. Other than like Halo, I can't think of any game that people went like batshit for.
There's a lot of games that we don't play, right?
Like,
You know what? I can't. I almost said Gran Turismo, but that's PlayStation 5.
yeah, pretty sure it's exclusive.
Yeah, that is a PS5 exclusive. Yeah, that's it. There aren't really any franchises that are power franchises for Xbox anymore.
I mean, here, I got a list of everything confirmed for the Series X. So, Halo Infinite, Fable is either gonna make or break.
That's true.
Oh,
Fables.
fuck you, Eurogamer. That was Eurogamer, and they blocked me because I have ad blocker on. But I'm not gonna turn that
Take
off.
that, you sons of bitches.
Oh,
So, do
God.
you have an alarm at midnight for this launch?
No, it doesn't start till 8 a.m. So don't do anything. I'm glad you told me. Okay, I'm just gonna read off. Wait, no, this can't be right. Confirm. Really? Oh, well, I guess. Okay. List of confirmed. I'm just going to read the ones that IGN has highlighted here, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Call of the Sea, Chorus, Crossfire X, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Dirt 5, Doom Eternal, Dragon Quest, what is that, 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Far Cry 6, FIFA 21, Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Grounded, Halo Infinite, Madden NFL 21, Metal Hellsinger, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Psychonauts 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Scarlet Nexus, Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect, The Ascent, The Elder Scrolls Online, The Gunk, The Second Extinction, The Witcher 3, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Watch Dogs Legion, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. So it's a bunch of stuff that's already out on other shit. Most
Wow.
of it. It's all out
Well,
like,
especially
already.
when they delayed Infinite. Like, honestly, Infinite was the title where I was gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna stand in line. Here we go at midnight. No, I don't do that anymore. That was when I was young. I don't do midnight launches anymore. They're
Yeah,
bullshit.
same. I have them deliver it to my house the next day because it's usually on a work day, and then I'll set it up really quick so it can download all the bullshit it needs to download
Yeah.
while I work, and then I'll do my thing.
Hot garbage.
Oh, I will say, I think I sent this to you. Did you see how much the Spider-Man Ultimate Edition is going to take up on your hard drive?
No, well, I mean, you might have, but I don't remember.
Okay. So there's going to be 2 editions of Spider-Man coming out, and I did not know the difference when I read this part, but the Spider-Man Ultimate Edition will take up 105 gigs on your hard drive.
Wow. Why?
Because it's both Spider-Man Miles Morales and the Spider-Man game that was already out on one set.
Oh.
So it's 2 full games. That's still huge, but it's 2 games. If you get the regular edition, not only do you save $20 on the game, so Spider-Man Miles Morales is only $50. It's only 50 gig.
Okay.
So way.
Is that for
way
Xbox
smaller.
or is that specifically for PlayStation?
That's for play. No, that game's a PlayStation exclusive. I
Okay,
just
that's
remembered that. I just remembered that right now. Was
fair
all it
enough.
was.
I was wondering. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an exclusive.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the PlayStation, the launch titles for the PlayStation aren't much better, mostly because of the price.
Oh yeah.
2 of them are $70.
What, dude? Every couple years, like every new console generation, they up them by $10. I feel
Yep.
like that's ridiculous.
And do you remember back in the day when they promised that, like, oh no, people are going to go digital because they'll pass that savings on to you. They don't have to make a box. They don't have to make a disc. That savings, it'll get passed on to you.
That's all bullshit.
It did not at all.
No,
not at all.
They've been fucking us for years. I mean, come on. Yay, buy our stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so gonna set my thing up. It's funny because now I see conflicting news. Some say 11 a.m., some say 8 a.m. So I'll look at 8 and then go from there.
Yeah, I'll just check both.
And you're gonna get the disc one like I am, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. It just.
What do you think
What
this
if I
is?
need to see? Blu-rays?
What do you think this is?
It's funny because everyone that sees my Blu-ray collection just thinks, "Why?"
Yeah, same here. And I finally moved a bunch of mine into binders.
I did that for all my DVDs.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, but yeah,
Ugh.
they take up way too much room.
These kids don't know, man. I hate to be like that old guy, but
In my day,
it's only because they take shit away. Look at they're re-releasing the Scott Pilgrim game after a few years of it literally not being available. It was not up on any store. It's just gone. It's just a whole game.
well, and there's like whole TV shows that are just gone now.
Yep.
Just disappeared.
Oh, some of the really old stuff, like some of the really old Doctor Who episodes, the production companies didn't want to spend a bunch of money on tape, so they would reuse tapes and record over things. So there are literally episodes of Doctor Who that had to get saved by like fans who happened to, I had a VCR back in the day and recorded it, and that's the only way they still exist. And there's several that are just gone.
Yeah,
They're just gone forever.
And it's funny because there's also a bunch of Star Trek episodes, the Lost episodes, that are very similar from the original series.
Well, just Marvel. Lucas has been trying to get rid of the holiday special for years. They won't reprint it. I have a copy. Aha, cockbags.
That's funny. I've seen a review of it, and I've seen it. I full disclosure, I watched it while I was playing Just Cause 4, so I had plenty to do. But it's fuck awful. Like, at one point, there's a grandpa Wookiee that is playing with himself.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
yeah.
what? That's so like, oh, that's just grandpa. It's all right.
The whole thing was so bad. I'm so glad I own it. Sometimes you just have to have that stuff, man. Have to have it.
So are you gonna buy a new VR set for PlayStation 5 when they ultimately release it?
They've said that the one I have will continue to work with it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, or at least out of the box, it will support my VR headset.
Okay, and you think they're gonna kill it with an update like they did with the Kinect?
They might. They absolutely might, but who knows?
Oh man,
I hope that. I mean, if they do like one that's upgraded and worth it, I'm super into that. That's fine by me. But if it's just like there's this other one and now it's in mauve, come get that one. No, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah. Well, and now they're trying to pimp out the ones that you don't need a console for, or you don't need a computer for. They're all
Yeah, like the wireless
self-sustaining.
ones. I don't see PlayStation doing that though. I think they like being tied to the hardware. Really, what they need is titles. No more
Yeah,
damn shooters on rails or any of those experiences. They need some more stuff that's like Astrobot or that's like Moss. Even Accounting Plus to a degree is super ridiculous and fun. I need to try Trover. I haven't played Trover. Maybe that'll be an early VR buy for me on the 5.
yeah. I know I've said it before, but Half-Life Alex is legit.
Yeah, too bad I can't get that one on the PlayStation, but
And maybe they'll do some sort of orange boxy thing in the future.
maybe I'd be into that.
Yeah, because they ended up releasing Portal and all that for consoles.
Maybe limited run games will do it.
Do they? By the way, their marketing scheme is horrendous, and I'm on principle. I almost don't want to order from them ever again.
Limited run? Why?
They send me 3 emails for every single new title that they're launching, because they send the hey, this title's launching, and then they send the this title is launched, and then send running out of time. This will never happen again.
Well, but I've actually had some that I wanted, and I sat on it for a day or two, and came back, and it was sold out. And they don't do secondary runs.
Yeah, just I'm a little too. I guess I there was one game that I got from them, and I'm just kind of done now with that whole thing.
Oh, they're going to be doing a Doom 64 Switch release. I'm so picking that up.
I like the new Doom. I don't know that I'd go
This is
back.
Doom 64, though, man.
Yeah, I like Nintendo 64, right?
Yes.
Yeah, don't you just have a Nintendo 64?
Yeah, and I have Doom for it, but I don't have it on the Switch.
You are the person that they make these things for, sir.
It's more that I want stuff to live on. Eventually,
Yeah,
other shit'll break.
true. You
happen.
can only replace it so much; it gets rarer and rarer. But yeah, I am setting my alarm for 7 a.m. We'll get on this.
I'll already be up and online.
I mean, yeah, that's usually when I start work, so it's not that much of
Yeah.
a push. But yeah,
Nothing crazy.
all right. You know what? For a change, you play us out.
Oh, are we starting the play out early because it's going to take me that long to remember all of the things? Okay, this has been the Bias Bros podcast. You can find the Bias Bros podcast on 5dpodcast.com or in 5dproductions.com. 5D Podcast plays on YouTube TV /5D Podcast Live. Mondays at 7. You can find me on the Bias Bros. Releases on Thursday on Podbean. No, on just iTunes. This one releases on Podbean and iTunes. You can find Eduardo Tuesday nights, twitch.tv /metagame network. He plays games. Normally, you can find Klopp's Wolfbane Wednesday nights, twitch.tv /Klopp's Wolfbane. I don't think one's going to happen. Well, the week this posts will probably be fine, but if you're somehow listening to this in the past, which is this week, then it won't be this week, because this is the past and it's not going to happen this
He
week.
means for the people live on YouTube.
No. Is that it? Did I get everything?
Yes, I think so, except your final thoughts.
I feel. Have you seen the sizes on the new consoles?
No, I actually not comparatively, no.
I think it's like 28 inches long.
Side screen.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You're basically gonna have 2 mini towers sitting in your living room.
Yeah,
when
and
these
I'm
come in.
okay. I know we're supposed to be signing off here, but I'm really nervous with this whole sons of bitches trying to stand it up again because of the 360 and how it scratched on my discs.
Yeah, no, I'm laying it down. They will both be laying down.
Okay, just making sure. I was like, this seems really, really weird.
I will be laying both of mine down. And actually, the PlayStation even comes with a little stand to keep it elevated for the heat issues
Oh, okay,
while it's laying down.
that's good because it didn't look like it was gonna be shaped. It's shaped like a spaceship. God damn it.
Yeah, you can look up pictures of it sideways. It doesn't look good.
It looks like a crashed spaceship. All right, and on that note, bye.
Bye.